national partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network.
Celebrate July 4th with savings at Lowe's. For a limited time, save on the essentials you need to make your garden pop for summer, like Miracle-Gro 25-quart potting mix. Get 2 bags for just $16. And get up to 40% off, plus save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances. Hurry, these deals won't last long, because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 7/10. Miracle-Gro excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount, excluding supplies. See Lowe's.com for more details while supplies last.
The American Civil Liberties Union, founded in 1920, works in the courts, legislatures, and our communities to defend and preserve our individual rights and liberties. Find out how you can get involved at aclu.org.
Out News, wherever you are. Tell your smart device to play the Black Information Network station on iHeartRadio.
Show to the Black Information Network.
Bringing you stories that are important.
SCOTUS ruled that Donald Trump may claim immunity from criminal prosecution for and by the Black community.
There are federal moves in the works to encourage and improve racial diversity within drug clinical trials in the U.S.
The Black Information Network is 24/7 news.
Descendants of Tulsa, Oklahoma race massacre victims are pushing for a national monument you can trust.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 and on the iHeartRadio app.
I'm Mimi Brown on the Black Information Network, and today I'm in conversation with Dr. Byron Scott, Direct Relief COO and co-chair of the Fund for Health Equity. What's the overall mission of the Direct Relief program?
The Fund for Health Equity is a program dedicated to addressing health disparities and advancing health equity worldwide. The program started to support organizations and initiatives that work to overcome systemic barriers around healthcare access and improve outcomes for underserved populations.
To learn more, visit directrelief.org.
Bank of America Corporation is proud to be a founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network.
Time now for another crime prevention safety tip. Install safety apps on your phone and use GPS tracking to share your location with trusted contacts when traveling alone. A message from your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
If something's happening in your community, we want to know about it. Call the Black Information Network hotline and speak up. 855-500-9BIN.
No music act on the Black Information Network.
The opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints expressed in this commentary are those of the author and do not necessarily represent those of BIN and its founding partners and employees.
I'm Mo Kelly on the BIN with your 2-minute warning. Remember how Flavor Flav recently ordered the entire Red Lobster menu in an effort to save the company? Never mind that Red Lobster had already filed Chapter 11 or that buying every item on the menu once would neither save that individual location or the company as a whole. Never mind all those facts. But do you remember that? You do? Great. Well, it seems that Red Lobster, while its doors are still open, wants to repay the favor. The seafood chain is partnering with Flavor Flav to roll out his new meal called Flavor Flav's Faves. This from People Magazine. Quote, the seafood chain restaurant announced that starting Monday, for a limited time only, guests can dine like the rapper. The chain has partnered with him to release a combo meal featuring some of his favorite menu items. The combo meal, dubbed Flavor Flav's Faves, is hand-selected by Flav. A variety of Red Lobster staple menu items include meat, lobster tail, snow crab leg, garlic shrimp scampi, bacon mac and cheese, and an additional side. However, this special meal won't be on the menu. Instead, it will be an, quote, if you know, close quote, kind of deal. And patrons will have to ask their servers directly for the Flavor Flav's Fave meal, close quote. Far be it for me to be a Debbie Downer, but this math ain't mathing. Whatever Flavor Flav spent on that one day at that one restaurant, it was far less than what Red Lobster is paying Flav in return to use his name and likeness for this promotion. Either Red Lobster is hiding money in the mattress and isn't as broke as it alleges at the closest restaurants nationwide, or Flavor Flav played all of us for suckers. Or both. You decide. I'm Mo Kelly, at Mr. Mo Kelly on social media. And that's your 2-minute warning on the Black Information Network.
Because trust matters.
The Black Information Network. The Bay Area's
is BIN 910.
Here's what's trending this hour. President Biden plans to stop scheduling events after 8 p.m. to get more sleep. The West Coast is bracing for more extreme heat, and a fourth human case of bird flu has been confirmed. I'm Amber Payton, and that's what's trending.
Sports on the Black Information Network. WNBA Rookie of the Year race seems to be coming down to two players. Angel Reese from the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever's Caitlin Clark.
How did that happen? How did we get here?
Joey Taylor and the crew from Fox Sports Speak.
We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese walked up to her, did this, and pointed to the ring. This is not my opinion. I lived it. I watched it. It was recorded. It was broadcasted live. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before that moment.
16-year-old phenom Quincy Wilson is on his way to Paris, France to represent the United States in the Olympic Games. The African-American team will be a part of USA's 4x400-meter relay, becoming the youngest male ever to make the U.S. Olympic track field team. Is the sun setting on the NBA squad in Phoenix? Shannon Sharp, Chad Ochocinco from one of the hottest podcasts on iHeartRadio, the Nightcap Podcast.
You got no first round pick until 2030. Right. How do you build? How do you add pieces to help Kevin Durant and Devin Booker get over that? The only piece that you got is a Bradley Beal. Right. And that's if you waive no trade clause. Because if you look at it, the only team that have draft capital and potential players that can satisfy the Phoenix Suns is the OKC Thunder.
Get your sports at 14 and 44 past each and every hour. I'm Ray Harris on the Black Information Network.
A special thank you to Geico Insurance,
A proud founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network.
I'm Bill Black with another Bet You Didn't Know music fact. Some people hear music, and some people can feel it. Because Pharrell Williams, he can see it. Yes, it's scientifically proven, and it's called synesthesia. It's the condition of a stimulation of one sense triggers another sense. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Visual nerve ending and the auditory nerve ending are connected. So when you're hearing music, you see it in color. Well, it's the only way that I can identify what something sounds like. You know, I know when something is in key because it either matches the same color or it doesn't.
Written and produced hits for himself as well as countless others, which means Pharrell has an ear for music and an eye for it. Other artists with this condition include Frank Ocean, Mary J. Blige, Kanye West, Stevie Wonder, and Duke Ellington. I'm Bill Black, and that's another Bet You Didn't Know music fact on the Black Information Network.
entertainment news on the Black Information Network.
Sean Diddy Combs is selling a major piece of real estate amid his legal troubles. The rapper has listed his Los Angeles mansion for $70 million, according to TMZ. Federal agents searched the mansion and his Miami property back in March as part of a sex trafficking investigation. Diddy bought the mansion in 2014 for $39 million. It's located in Homely Hills near the Playboy Mansion and the former Spelling Estate. And Waka Flocka Flame is ramping up his support for former President. The rapper made it clear that he's serious about his support for Trump and told all Joe Biden supporters to get out of his concert. Waka Flocka publicly endorsed Trump last year despite criticizing him before. And in other entertainment political news, Cardi B is vowing to never become a Republican. Cardi, who says she does not support President Biden or former President Donald Trump, recently declared that she will not be voting in this year's presidential election. A fan seems to have taken that as the rapper becoming Republican and wrote on X, she may have betrayed our country and turned Republican, but at least she's found a nice tune. The post caught Barty's attention, and she replied saying she'll never join the grand old party. With the latest in entertainment news at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Mimi Brown on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Heavily based on soul music, but incorporating elements ranging from funk, jazz, fusion, hip-hop, and African to electronic and pop, the term neo-soul emerged in the 90s as a way to define and market a soul revival which has been underway since the 80s. Started Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, and Maxwell all having success. Industry execs found it necessary to classify the genre-bending music. A digital analog hybrid sound with conscience-driven lyrics, while heavily rooted in soul stars like Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder. Neo Soul tried to look backward and forward. Neo Soul has expanded and diversified with contributions from a new generation. Being belong to the Black Information Network. Because truth matters.
The Black Information Network. The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Trey Thomas.
And I'm Bree Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
More than a week since his shocking debate performance, and black voters are still talking about President Biden and whether or not he's still up for the job. They tell CNN,
I saw a tired president, and I think he needed a Snicker and a Mountain Dew.
He just looked so frail, and his voice was hoarse, and he was just, I was like, come on, give me something.
some Democrats have suggested that Biden step aside and allow someone else to run. But the White House insists that President Biden is running for president and says he suffered from jet lag and a cold during the debate.
The city of Atlanta, Georgia is launching a new initiative to raise awareness and take action against domestic violence. It's called the Atlanta Says No More program. They're asking the community to help end domestic violence. Mayor Andre Dickens, who is black, said in a statement, quote, by discussing it, recognizing the signs, providing resources, and simply being available, we have the power to end domestic violence together, end quote.
New York Attorney General Letitia James, who is black, has joined 24 attorneys general in urging the Supreme Court to uphold the federal rule regulating ghost guns. James posted on X, ghost guns are just as dangerous as regular firearms, and they put us all in danger. The rule doesn't ban ghost guns, but subjects gun kits and almost complete guns to the same serial numbers and background checks as traditional firearms.
And an Applebee's manager in Laurel, Mississippi, insulted a black woman who left a generous $150 tip for her server by college bosses, asking her to sign the bill and leave her phone number. Dawn Montgomery shared her experience on X, sparking thousands of outraged replies. She said the manager made a scene over the incident and tried to act like the charges wouldn't clear on her card. But at least one person who works in risk management said the concern may have been over the bank honoring such a large tip, since it was over the pre-tip amount of 20%.
A black author and life coach wants you to stop blaming men for all the problems. That's the title of his new book on masculinity and manhood. Michael Taylor tells Fox News the problem is men don't know how to ask for help.
One of the most difficult words for any man to say is, I need help. And when you look at society as a whole, we wonder why, 70% of all suicides are by men.
Taylor says he doesn't believe in the term toxic masculinity and says people confuse it with toxic behavior. For more news impacting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. I'm Trey Thomas, along with Bree Wood, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Mentoring is not about giving back. It's about paying it forward. Be a guiding light in a young person's life and mentor a young person today. Learn more at #MentorshipMission.
Trusted Black News.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910. Your money on the Black Information Network.
Are you ready to go on a shopping spree? Well, you can, and you can do it from the comfort of your own home. That's because Amazon Prime Days are July 16th and 17th. And in the spirit of summer, you can save money on barbecue grills, mosquito repellent, tools for those outdoor repairs, deals on tech, home goods, fashion, entertainment, and more. Here's
what you need to know. Number 1, if you have not already done so, you should sign up for an Amazon Prime account and download the Amazon app. That will give you the opportunity to set up a wish list and alerts on items that you are keeping an eye on. Number 2, Amazon Prime Day is for members only. But if you are not ready to pay for a monthly subscription, you can sign up for a 30-day free trial. After you've done your Amazon Prime Day shopping, you can cancel the membership or pay the monthly subscription fee. And number 3, if there is something you really want, you may be able to avoid some of the competition by ordering it during the early morning hours while everyone else is sleeping. Money news at 24 and 54 minutes past each hour. I'm Nicole Deal on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and MBytes.com.
America's trusted black voice.
The Black Information Network. The Bay Area, BIN 910.
I'm Bree Wood.
And I'm Trey Thomas on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
In a recent interview with the Saturday Show on MSNBC, Representative Jasmine Crockett criticized fellow Democrats for their reactions to President Biden's performance in the recent debate.
This is our Democratic nominee. We don't just replace somebody because of a 90-minute performance in which his opponent did not perform well.
Crockett said she's frustrated with Democrats who are considering replacing Biden as the party's candidate. She noted that Biden, despite not being a strong public speaker, has a solid record and is a far better choice than former President Donald Trump.
The Baltimore City Council in Maryland has announced a series of legislative hearings to tackle the ongoing opioid crisis. Led by Councilwoman Daniel McCrae and Councilman Mark Conway, both black, the hearings try to understand the range of the problem, analyze data, and develop actionable steps. The initiative comes in response to alarming overdose rates across the city. The first hearing is set for July 24. During a recent press conference at the White House, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre fielded several questions regarding President Biden's debate performance and overall health. When asked about Biden's last physical exam, Jean-Pierre had this to say.
What we have released over the past 3 years, every year since he's been in office, has been transparent and it has been comprehensive.
Jean-Pierre confirms President Biden has not had any more exams since his annual physical exam in February. However, she notes they've been the most transparent administration when it comes to the president's health.
In Arizona, the Black Mothers Forum is spearheading a movement to combat systemic racism in education through a network of 9 micro-schools. Founded by Janelle Wood and other mothers in 2016, Black Enterprise reports the forum's goal is to provide a safe and supportive learning environment for Black children. These learning pods offer tailored curriculums for small groups of students addressing the unique needs of each child. The initiative also seeks to dismantle the school-to-prison pipeline, which disproportionately affects Black and brown students. I'm Bree Wood, along with Trey Thomas, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Your Washington Roundup is next.
A U.S.-made pier to deliver humanitarian aid to Palestinians has been reattached to the coast in Gaza. It was the second time since it was installed last month that the pier had to be moved because of choppy seas. Recently, a Pentagon spokesman confirmed that U.S. military personnel had re-anchored the temporary pier to the Gaza shore and that the delivery of aid had resumed. Notice, the Biden administration is issuing a ban on the use of antivirus software that has ties to Russia. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo said recently, the Russian government has total access to the systems and customer data of Kaspersky Labs. Under the ban, Kaspersky will not be able to enter into new agreements in the U.S. after July 20th. Raimondo was urging Americans and U.S. businesses to immediately stop using the software. And that's your Washington Roundup. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 is powered in partnership with Direct Relief and Chevy. Thank you for partnering with a purpose on the Black Information Network.
I'm Bill Black with another Bet You Didn't Know music fact. This is Stephanie Mills. And the former Broadway musical star and Grammy-winning R&B singer has revealed that famous R&B singers run deep in her family tree. It turns
turns out that Stephanie Mills' real cousins are Casey and JoJo of the group Jodeci. Now, Casey and JoJo have other famous singing cousins as well. Take, for instance, Dave Hollister, who once sang lead vocals for the R&B group Blackstreet. And then the first cousin to Casey and JoJo is Fantasia. That's a lot of vocal power in that family and a hell of a R&B family tree. I'm Bill Black, and that's another Bet You Didn't Know music fact on the Black Information Network.
From the private sector
To public life,
these are the people making a difference in the Black community
they are leading while Black.
on the Black Information Network.
Welcome to Leading While Black, our monthly series on the Black Information Network where we talk with Black leaders in the fields of entertainment, health, politics, business, sports, and more. The U.S. Black Chambers Incorporated, or USBC, provides committed, visionary leadership and advocacy in the realization of economic empowerment. Through the creation of resources and initiatives, the USBC supports African American chambers of commerce and business organizations in their work of developing and growing Black enterprises. As the president and CEO of the USBC, Ron Busby Sr. stands as a paragon of leadership and dedication to the progress of Black businesses and community advancement. His career, characterized by significant achievements as both a successful entrepreneur and an active community leader, reflects his deep commitment to these causes. And he is our guest today. Right, Mr. Ron Busby Sr., welcome to the show, and we're excited to talk to you.
Man, it is great to be here. Great to have this conversation. It's long overdue, but I know it's one that I think your audience, as well as our staff and board, are eager to discuss.
Do us a favor and talk to us a bit about your upbringing and a bit about what led you to the position that you now hold.
I grew up in Oakland, California. Oakland is a very diverse community, well known for a movement there in the late 60s, early 70s, and on up, called the Black Panther Party. My father was a member of the organization, not really an activist kind of a gentleman, but we saw the importance of Black people having a voice. And so I was able to see my father actively participate in Black leadership, but also Black love. And I say that because in Oakland, most of the Black Panthers were known for toting shotguns and wearing leather coats. But there was a whole different organization that we were able to see and participate in, where there were really Black men, Black women that were there to support other Black youth coming up, and I being one of them. Finished high school in Oakland as a pretty good student and a good athlete. Was able to attend Florida A&M University, a historically Black college and university. So once again was able to surround myself with other Black excellence, Black leadership, and Black professors that were there to make sure that the student population got the exposure as well as the upbringing that was necessary. Went on after college, did a short term at Atlanta University where I received my MBA, and then went to work in corporate America. Spent about 10 years combined between IBM, Xerox, and left corporate America after running at Coca-Cola Fountain Sales in Dallas, Texas, where I was vice president. Got to know several of the McDonald's franchisee owners and decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So learned as much as I could while I was in corporate America, still working part-time at McDonald's, learning how to run a business. Left there and then went back home to start the second phase of a family business. Where it was 5 employees. I always say my mother, my father, my 2 sisters, and myself. Grew that firm from 5 employees to over 1,500 employees, and really understood the importance of creating systems. So as opposed to managing people, we were managing processes. And so for an industry that was very labor intensive, very old school in reference to its management style, we were able to bring a level of sophistication